Ask one son, why is it that you drink? He'll say, because of my father. Ask the other son, why is it that you don't drink? And he'll say the same thing, because of my father. Welcome to the Lyssn Podcast, your space to tune out the noise and tune in to the wisdom that already lives inside you. I'm Aggressor, and through soulful conversations and grounded reflections, we explore what it means to live your bliss, to walk through life aligned, intuitive, embodied, and lit up from within. Because the answers you're seeking, well, you already hold them. The real question is, do you have the courage to listen? Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Lyssn Podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. My name is Aggressor, but you can just call me Lyss. Now, I will be the first person to put my hand up and say that I am a recovering perfectionist, and perfection really doesn't exist, or does it? The reality is, perfection is just a matter of your perception. Now, this amazing quote has completely changed my life. And when you understand it, it will change your life too. Because perfection is not a fixed truth. It is just about your perception. So your perception of perfection is going to be completely different to mine. So the person who actually introduced this concept to me was Geronimo, and it was on his dating profile when we met. His favorite quote was, perfection is a matter of perception. And if you know me, you know why that struck me in the heart, because I am a recovering perfectionist. And for most of my life, I believed that I had to do everything 100% correctly. And if it wasn't 100% perfect, it wasn't good enough for me to put out into the world. I was always striving for this idea of perfection, and not just in the things that I created, in looking perfect, in being perfect, in presenting perfectly, and attempting to always achieve perfect results in everything that I did. But the thing with perfectionism is that you are constantly in a loop of chasing it, and you will never actually achieve your goal, because the goalposts of perfection continue to move, and you're in this constant chase and this loop, and your brain is in this space of seeking out anything that seems imperfect in order to remove it or to delete it or to manipulate everything so that it looks as perfect as possible or it seems as perfect as possible. And it just keeps you stuck in this loop of not enoughness and not worthy enough. And I'm not doing enough and I'm not being enough. So when I saw Geronimo's quote on his profile, it was an immediate mirror and invitation for me to really take a look and take a step back and understand my tendencies to measure love and worth and success through this filter of not enoughness. And it invited me to really soften these impossible standards that I had so that I could really step into the truth of what perfection really means. And now my philosophy is that I am perfectly imperfect, because he really showed me that my so-called flaws could actually be loved, and not just by him, but by myself as well. That's what really pulled me into his world and started shifting my own, because if perfection is just a matter of perception, then I could stop chasing it and start choosing it instead. And that is really powerful. And that is a massive shift to make. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. We're going to be diving into mentality and perception and your idea of perfection. And I want to dive into those mental states that aren't necessarily as helpful for us and that have a bit more of a negative connotation and negative self-talk, so that we can step into creator energy and start living our perfectly imperfect lives in the most aligned way for you and your truth and your desires and your dreams. Let's dive in. Perspective is everything. It is the lens that you see the entire world through, which means that from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed at night, every single decision that you make is filtered through this same lens, and it determines whether or not you are living a life that is full of joy and fulfillment or a life that is full of suffering and despair. Perception is the exact reason why two people can experience the exact same situation but walk away with the opposite stories. So for example, let's take an alcoholic father and his two sons. Ask one son, why is it that you drink? He'll say, because of my father. Ask the other son, why is it that you don't drink? And he'll say the same thing, because of my father. Same circumstance, different perspective, different outcome. This is why perspective matters, because it is the lens you see everything through, which means that it is not the event that determines the outcome. It is what meaning you give to that event based on your perception of the event and your perception of life. And that is due to your past experiences and everything that has made you who you are today, sitting here listening to this podcast. It is not the event that determines your happiness or your pain. It is just the meaning that you give to it. So for me, perfectionism was the filter that I saw absolutely everything through. And I thought if I could just do right, if I could look right, if I could be right, if I could achieve everything and be perfect all the time, that then I would be able to be loved and I would feel safe and I would feel secure, because if I couldn't love myself as the version that I was, I would love the version that I could become. And this was someone that I was striving to be, but it was someone that was completely unattainable. But perspective is the thing that really shifted me from those perfectionist tendencies to this creator or creatrix energy, where I finally stopped seeing all of my flaws as failures, and I was able to recognize that they were the proof of my humanity. And I went from constantly chasing my self-worth externally from outside of me to really perceiving it inside of myself. And I really feel that this is a shift that is universal. Let's talk about mentalities. So I have a little system that I like to use. There are other systems, but this is my favorite system as it is very simple and it can really categorize people into 3 different tiers of mentalities, 2 of which are not helpful. And the third is the one that we really want to stay in. So first we have the victim mentality. And this is the person that's all, woe is me, my life sucks, blah. You never really like being around those people because it's always like, where, my life, where? Yeah. Then above that person, you have the aggressor. Now, the aggressor is the person who is just a step above victim mentality, but they are still not in a really great place because that person is the one that is always pointing the fingers at everybody else. You're the one that did this to me. It's your fault that I'm in this position. They're the ones that are probably going to be on the phone to the call center yelling at the person who works there, who has absolutely nothing to do with the reason that their phone isn't working, right? But that is the type of person that is constantly blaming others for their misfortune and for the reason why their life isn't in the best place or the place that they want it to be. Still not a great energy to be in. Then we take one more step up to the top tier. This is the energy we want to be in. It's the creator or creatrix energy. This is a person who goes, right, let me look at the situation. Let me survey what's going on right now. I'm going to have a little overlook and see what's going on. Sure, it may be a pretty crappy situation to be in. However, I'm not going to let that determine my mood or determine the outcome of the situation. I'm going to look at this situation and go, right, not happy with this. How do I change it? Right, not happy with this. What can I do to fix it? Yeah, because the victim and the aggressor energy are too busy blaming either themselves or others for the situation and really identifying with whatever the situation is instead of focusing on how do I get out of it. So when you can jump from these 2 bottom tiers into that creator energy, that is where the magic happens. So let's have a look at a few examples of where this could be prevalent in your life. Now, you may resonate with some of these, you might not resonate with any of them. I'm going to give you the victim and the aggressor and the creator energy for all of these different examples, and that way you can really see what it looks like, and hopefully you'll be able to identify which one of them that you're actually in. Money. You've got the victim person. Oh, woe is me. I'm so broke. Money doesn't come easily to me. I have to work so hard for money. Money and I just don't deal well together. Money always slips through my fingers. My life sucks and I'll never get ahead because I don't have enough money. It's all me, 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 me. Then we've got the aggressor. This is the person who says, well, it's your fault that I'm in this crappy situation. It's my boss's fault because my boss doesn't pay me enough money. The government takes all of my money. The system's against me. It's everybody else's fault except for mine. So that's all you energy. Then we have the creator or creatrix. This is the person that says, okay, my life sucks right now. I'm not in the financial position that I want to be in. How can I get out of it? How can I grow my money? How can I invest my time, the asset that I do have, into learning more about money so I can change my money story so that I can become more proficient when it comes to my financial literacy, and so that I can change my current situation so that I don't have to stay stuck in this place and I don't have to get back to this place at any point in the future because I want to change my reality, right? Feel how different those are? One's weighted in blur, the other one's like, and then the last one's like, ah. These are all technical terms, by the way. Now let's have a look at health. This is a big one. Oh boy, your mentality has such a massive impact when it comes to your health and your body. Think about the word disease, dis-ease. Not at ease, uneasy, right? Dis-ease is your body's way of telling you that it is not okay. It is communicating with you through dis-ease. But we hear, oh, you have an illness, oh, you have a disease, and all of a sudden we identify with it. So what does the victim person do? They go, oh, woe is me, I'm so sick, my life is awful because I can't do anything. Why me? My body is broken, my life sucks. Then we go to the aggressor. This is the person that says, well, it's the doctor's fault, or it's society's fault, or it's the manufacturer of the food company that I constantly was eating's fault, or it is the fault of my parents' genes, right? It is something else outside of myself. Then we have the creator. This is the person that says, wow, this really sucks, but I don't want this to be my story. They go, okay, what can I do to shift it? What changes can I make to my diet, to my lifestyle? How can I support my body to heal? What can I do to change my mindset, to change my lifestyle, to change the stories that are living within my body? How can I heal? What can I do to provide more ease within my life so I do not have to hold on to this story and I can shift this current reality? That's the person who is going to change that health story for themselves. Career. This is a massive one too. The victim is, I'm stuck in this dead-end job and I'm never going to get out. I never get any pay rises. I never get any bonuses. Nothing ever works out for me. My life sucks. Then we've got the aggressor. It's management's fault. It's my coworker's fault. It's society's fault. Yeah, everybody else is holding me back. Then we have the creator. I don't like where I'm at. It's pretty crappy. How am I going to change it? What other jobs could I look for? How can I get that pay rise that I want? What can I do to show upper management that I am really, really keen for that new position? What steps can I take to pivot within my career? Do I want a completely new career? Do I want to stay where I'm at? Is this the right fit for me? Maybe not. Maybe it is. Where can I upskill? Where can I apply myself differently? Where can I create opportunities myself? Maybe I'll start my own business, right? These are so many different questions that really snowball into change and difference and newness. So the thread through it all that I'm sure you can tell by now, the victim, woe is me. The aggressor, it's your fault. And the creator, this situation sucks. What else can I do to change it? And that is the power of perspective. That is the power of changing your mindset, allowing yourself just a small shift can give you the key to unlock whatever it is that you are searching for to create the life that you want to be living and not stay stuck in your current circumstances. It is not about pretending everything is butterflies and rainbows and everything is fantastic when it's not. It is about making different choices and having a different perspective, which is going to help to move you forward instead of keeping you stuck where you currently are. The victim and aggressor lenses are trapping you in your suffering. The creator is allowing you to grow and expand and create more freedom in your life. Now, here are a few reframes that will help you to unlock the creator. These are so much more powerful than they probably will seem, but I can tell you now, sometimes it is the simplest things that will shift your perspective. And oftentimes when we hear these from the people closest to us, they don't always land. This is, generally what happens is you hear something from your parents over and over again. You go, whatever. And then when you finally hear it from somebody, dare I say, that you respect more, which isn't necessarily the right wording, but you know what I mean. When you hear it from a mentor or a teacher or a friend, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've never thought about it that way. So let's get into some of these reframes so that you can really unlock the creator within you. First one, failure is just a lesson learned. There is no such thing as failing in my vocabulary. You either win or you learn. Let's reframe breakdown to break through. Can you feel the difference in energy between those two? A breakdown has such a negative connotation. A breakthrough is empowering. This is the same thing as rejection is just redirection. Yeah, instead of thinking about, oh, I've been rejected, woe is me, or, oh, I've been rejected, you suck for doing that to me. Rejection, okay, cool. That redirects me to something that is more aligned with my path. Thank you for rejecting me. That means that I can find something that is actually meant for me instead of wasting my time with this job or this relationship. The perspective shift that really makes a huge difference is understanding that everything is feedback. And if you understand that everything is feedback, being in that creator energy is going to allow you to make more aligned choices. But if you see everything as feedback and you're stuck in aggressor or victim mentality, all that feedback is going to be feeding back negativity to you, and it's going to be reaffirming all of the negative self-talk that you have. So let's jump into that creator energy and understand everything is feedback. It's happening for me, not to me. Yep. The to me people are the aggressor and the victim. The person who understands it's happening for me is the creator and goes, okay, this is happening for me. And it means that this is not what is aligned with what my highest good is right now. And I'm going to shift my perspective. I'm going to shift my direction to something that is more aligned, something that makes more sense for me. And it may not make sense in that moment, but it will make sense in hindsight. Looking back, you'll go, oh, I now understand why that thing happened so that I would be able to get to this place. But this wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have completely had that breakthrough moment. Now I'm so much further in the future on the timeline, that makes more sense to me. Why that had to happen. You may not understand it in the moment, but everything happens for a reason. Now, here's where so many of us get stuck. Once we get into that creator energy, sometimes what ends up happening is we end up getting stuck in the logical. Our mind takes over and all of a sudden we are overthinking and we are second guessing and we are making pro and con lists and attempting to make sense of everything when it may not necessarily be sensical. So suddenly you're in a position where you are stuck and trapped again. Now, the way that we get out of this is to get out of the mind and get back into the body. So I'm going to give you a little reframe that is honestly one of the biggest compasses that I use in my life. And I know that Geronimo uses it, and I have so many friends and clients of mine who have used it over the years because it is so powerful, yet so simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to close down your eyes, place one hand on your heart space and one hand on your womb space. And you're going to take a couple of deep breaths in just to really ground yourself into your body. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Really landing, because the point of this exercise is to understand what our body's wisdom is telling us. And that body's wisdom is always always right. We know that the body remembers, and we have this wisdom within us that we can tap into at any point in time. But unfortunately, we often are too busy in the mind. My body has never once steered me wrong. But it's up to you to have the courage to really listen to what it is that your body is telling you. Because it's very easy to jump back into the logical mind and very easy to dismiss the wisdom that you have inside you. So, using this as your compass, what you're going to do is bring whatever it is that you want to know into focus. Ask yourself the question, is this situation right for me? Is this person right for me? Is this job right for me? Whatever decision it is that you're attempting to make, call that into mind now. And I want you to notice what your body does. What happens inside your body? One of two things is going to happen. You will notice that your body will contract at the thought of that experience or that situation or that opportunity, whatever it is. You'll have a contraction which feels like a tightness, like a heaviness, or you will have this beautiful expansion of the body. This feels like lightness and joy and excitement and possibility and openness and breath, not this contraction with this heaviness and this shrinking energy. Now, be very clear. We are not listening to the mind. The mind can trick us. You may contract in the mind, yet your body expands. This is where you trust your intuition. You trust your body. Or the opposite can happen. Your mind might expand at the thought of this opportunity or these possibilities, because logically it all makes so much sense. But your body's wisdom knows better, and your body may contract because that may not be the thing that is right for you at this moment. It may not be the thing that is going to allow you to really get to where you want to get to. It may not be for you. It may still be logically all right and true, but it may not be for you. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because the body holds a deeper truth. That perfectionist energy that I was constantly utilizing, that is a logical energy. It's the checklists, right? But once you really tap into this knowing within your body, that is where all of the juiciness of life is. That's where the softness and receptivity comes in. That's where you become so self-assured because you are so embodied that you understand that every choice you are making is completely aligned with your highest truth. And that is where that creator energy lives, in the body, in that knowing. So it's time for our pivot points segment. You get to choose. Do you want to stay stuck in victim mentality of my life sucks, woe is me, I'm stuck energy? Or do you want to stay in that aggressor energy of it's everybody else's fault, I take absolutely no accountability for the situations that I'm in, and it's life's fault, it's someone else's issue, and blaming the world for why you haven't made the choices that have allowed you to live the life that you actually want and desire? Or do you want to be a creator? Do you want to be the person who takes the reins back on their own life and decides, this is not what I want anymore? It sucks where I'm currently at. And now it is time for me to make more aligned choices and to choose me for what could even be the very first time in your life. Choosing your perspective, honoring your body's wisdom, and seeing perfection not as something to chase, but as a perception to embody. Imperfectly perfect. Have you had enough yet? Because I can tell you, these types of people are not fun to be around. These are the types of people that are draining and so difficult to have conversations with, because you become so exhausted from hearing all of the negativity. And one of my pet peeves is somebody who complains about their life but never make any choices or any actions to change their reality. That is somebody who would rather complain than actually have their circumstances change. Anybody who I've ever known that stays in this energy, leads a very lonely life, and is exhausting not only to be around, but to be. So, my loves, if this episode stirred something within you, if you are ready to start shifting your perspective and start living your most perfectly imperfect life, completely aligned with the truth of who you are at your core and the person that you want to be, even if you're not currently embodying that version of yourself now, this is the work that I do with my clients, whether it's working with me one-on-one, whether it's doing one of my programs, or whether it is building an online business like I have. There is a path waiting for you here, and I would love to walk that path with you. You don't have to do it alone. Come find me over on Instagram at Lyssn Podcast. That's Lyssn Podcast, or you can DM me directly over at Lyss Natalie. And we can start getting you into a place where you can live this life fully expanded today. And now let's finish up, as always, with a whisper from within. Where in your life are you letting the victim, the aggressor, and the perfectionist call the shots? And what would shift if you finally let the creator take the reins? At the end of the day, life is always going to hand us challenges, but the thing that shapes our reality is how we perceive them. You can stay in the energy of woe is me and pointing the finger, or you can change the story and you can become the creator of your own reality. The choice is yours. And when it feels hard and when you forget, just remember all you need to do is tune back into your body and its innate intuitive wisdom and listen. I'll see you next episode. Thank you for listening, beautiful soul. If you felt something shift, please reflect on it, share it, and let it ripple out into the world. If something spoke to your heart space today, I would love if you could share it with someone that you love and leave us a review, which will really help more of our soul fam to find their way here. If you want to connect with me, if you have questions, topics, if you want to know more about my courses, or if you even just want to say hi, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. Come find me over on Instagram at Lyssn Podcast. That's Lyssn Podcast. Or you can message me directly at Lyss Natalie. My DMs are always open. Until next time, stay soft, stay true, keep living your bliss, and remember, your soul's song is always worth remembering. So keep listening.